Hello, good evening, everyone. Okay, thanks for joining us tonight. Okay, I hope you had a good dinner already. Yeah, so tonight we are going to talk about a topic that has been quite hot, I would say, for the last 1, 2 weeks. Okay, so number one on the China tech stock, right? So you want to find out if you can actually start investing it, or should you avoid it. All right, same for Bitcoins, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrency. So it has been like drop more than 50%, right, since May, and then in the last 1 month, it actually rose more than 60%, right? Okay, so we are very happy. Also, we have tonight we have Ken Koo with me, right? So all the way from Taiwan, yes. So yeah,
Hi.
we've over 5 years of investing experience. Yeah, so he's also known as the safe investor. Okay, so he developed this investor jargon, okay, to actually maximize profit and minimize risk. Okay, so he managed to predict the Tesla and Bitcoin crash 2 weeks before it crashes. Okay, using actually this technique. Right, so hopefully he will share some of this special technique with us tonight. Okay, yeah. So yeah, so he managed to catch the bottom for QQQ, right? So Nasdaq tech, okay, twice, and managed to, I think it's a 10%, right, correction. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
So yeah, and with that, he also helped his community actually made more than 100%. Okay, return. Last year, right? Okay. So of course tonight he will be sharing on his view on the China crackdown, basically of their tech companies, right? Like Alibaba and Tencent and all that. Right. Okay. So I hope this excites you, right? So, but before that, before I pass the floor to Ken Koo, just a quick, let me share my screen first. Okay, just a quick disclaimer, okay, that whatever information discussed tonight is meant for education and general information only. Yeah, because it is imperative that in any investments you do, you also do your own due diligence, do your own research as well. Okay, so or you can consult a financial license advisor, right? Okay, so I just leave this on for a quick 5 seconds so you can read it. All right, okay, give me a second. Okay, so with that, I will pass it on to Ken, yeah, the safe investors, right, to talk to us about the China tech. Right,
Okay,
Ken.
okay. Okay. Thank you, Leslie. Yes, so I am very excited tonight because there are a lot of opportunities right now. There was a good opportunity in crypto, and right now I see the opportunity in the Chinese tech stock. Okay, so let me share my screen. Um, okay, can you all see my screen? I think Leslie, you need to. There's like a permission. Okay, cool. All right, good. So I'm the safe investor, and my slogan is I don't want you guys to lose money. So my slogan is never lose money. Okay. Still until the very end, and tonight I will tell you exactly what to buy and why you should take advantage of this big drop right now. Okay, so this is a disclaimer. So everything here is from my personal perspective, and it's just for education purpose. So please do your research and consider your own financial conditions before you buy any of the stocks that I recommend. All right, so this is me, a brief introduction. I learned a lot of investing skills from this place called Buffett Online School. Basically, I'm doing this using the Buffett way of thinking and the Buffett methodology of investing, which is really I think it's very good. I've been on other shows with the Banana Investor and have my own book called Trading Psychology. Now, trading psychology is very important. If you are an investor yourself, you can actually feel that sometimes the market goes against your will and goes against your mentality. So if you have the chance to read my book, in this book I will talk about what you should do and what you should not do. Okay. So also, I did predict the Bitcoin drop on May 2nd. It was because there were 7 signs that were showing that a big crash was coming. So I do have another video talking about this. So if we have time, I will share it later, or if we have time. Okay, so now I want to talk about this China tech stock right now. So if you've been reading the news and all that, you can see that it says here China stock see biggest slump in U.S. since 2008 financial crisis. This was on 27th of July. So what is happening to the Chinese market? So what is happening, right? So you can see a lot of like these creepy and these news, and people are freaking out. People are throwing away their Chinese stocks. So like the reason is because there's a lot of policies going on, regulations going on. So let's really look into what is going on and try not to be fearful. Okay? Try not to be fearful. Don't panic. So this is because it says right here, the new rules proposed by China's State Administrator for Market Regulation affect various areas, including false advertising and the handling of consumer data. Okay, so now, if you actually know about China, this country, they actually do a lot of advertising, and I'm saying this in not in a bad way, but in a good way. They don't want to lose face. Okay, the Chinese people, they love to have, they want to show up as good. They want to be proud. They want everyone to look up to them. So I get that, and you can actually see the mentality in the Olympics, right? People, you can see how hard they train, the frustration that they have when they lose a match. So in a good way, they want to be good. They want people to see them as a good and strong nation, or a good country. Now, but then in order to do that, you have to do a lot of advertising. Like advertising sometimes can be false. And you can know sometimes if you buy stuff from China, the quality isn't that great, right? So these are like all known facts. Okay, so now this is the real thing. So, if Alibaba has fallen 50%, JD has fallen 40%, Tencent 44%, Baidu 60%. Okay, so here's the reason. Among the new rules outlined by regulators, China internet company were told not to conceal negative reviews. So not to conceal negative reviews. So this is part of the pride, because they want to do advertising. They want to say that my product is good, so I'm gonna hide or just ban the person who's made a negative comment on my product, or I can just make a new account and then tell all my friends, or even buy a service to give me like 100% good reviews. So it's kind of like a part of their culture and all that stuff. They don't want they focus a lot on the advertising, on the publicities, right? So not to conceal reviews, negative reviews, they only promote positive ones. So it's been going on like that for a while, and everyone knows that. Also, operators should not use data and algorithms to collect and analyze competitors' trading information. But so this thing is like in China, everything is very competitive. So they will, they will. For example, Alibaba and Tencent, they're like the two largest companies. From what I heard from a friend, right? So let's say Alibaba, right? You have store A and store B, and what you can actually do is, I heard this from a friend. Okay, I'm not sure if it's true or not. You can buy. So let's say I am the competitor A. I want to beat my competitor B. I can buy data from Alibaba on competitor B, and competitor B can also buy data that collected by Alibaba, and then give it to me, right? So this is what China, this new regulators are saying, that you should not do that. Now, like if you look at like Amazon or Facebook or Apple, they actually focus a lot on their user privacy and all their data stuff. So if you look at this from like a foreign Western point of view, you can actually see this is actually a good thing. But for the companies, or for the other stock investors or Chinese stock investors, maybe they see this as a bad thing, right? So it all depends on how you feel and the cultural value, right? So they also can't take user data algorithm to influence user choices. Now this thing, I actually think this is like nonsense, because if you've been using Google or Facebook, you can always almost see that. If you search something recently, what will happen on the pop-up on the side? It's the relevant ad that you just searched for. So is like Google and Facebook not using your user data? No, they are actually using your user data, and they tell you in the very beginning when you start to use their service. So I think this is actually fine. It's not a big deal. An operator can provide false data, such as the number of clicks on a piece of content. Okay, so this goes back to the pride and the face that they want. So, like even for financial reports, China's the culture there is that people want to look good. Okay, so that's why there's a lot of false information going on. Okay, so if you know about the Chinese culture, they actually have 3 accounting books. So one is the real accounting book for the company, one is for the boss to see, and one is for the public to see. Okay, now to me this sounds ridiculous, but that's a part of their culture. So you got to understand that first. Okay, so now let's look at this big drop right here. So this is MCHI. This is the largest ETF on the US stock exchange. So if you actually bought it somewhere here at the top, you can see a 40% drop right now. It's gonna be like freaking you out. So if you are afraid, type in the comment. If that might scare you, type in yes or type in afraid. Right? If this big drop is gonna scare you, I'm pretty sure a lot of investors who bought, JD, Alibaba, and Tencent, they're totally freaking out at the moment because of the new regulations. So now if you see this as a chance, type in chance. Type in chance if you see this as a chance. Okay, so now I want to tell you a mindset hack. This is very, very important. So let's say you kind of believe in the China's economy growth, right? You bought it like somewhere here, right? You bought it like somewhere here, and you thought, oh man, I'm losing so much money, and you want to cut your losses, right? But then, I mean, when you do that, you feel like a relief because you think, oh, I stopped my losses, right? You don't feel the stress and you don't feel the pressure anymore. But let me ask you a question: if you didn't have those stocks, if you didn't buy those stocks right here and you didn't hold on to those stocks right here, do you see this as an opportunity or do you see this as a crisis? Okay, so think about that for a while. The human mind is very interesting. When you don't have stocks, right? When you don't have stocks, you feel like this is a good maybe you see this as a chance. When you do have stocks, you think, oh, and you focus too much on the losses that have already happened, and you forgot about the future of what can happen next. So when we are investing in particularly stocks, we shouldn't really look at what has happened already because that's already happened. We should think what's going to happen next. So there's always like a 50% chance for the stock to go back. So if you think the stock or this MCHI, this ETF, and you believe in the China country, do you think it's going to go back up or down? So type in up or down. Okay. So, okay. So yeah. So if you don't have shares, you probably are hoping that the stock is going to go back up. If you think if you have already cut your losses, like right here, like if you cut your losses like yesterday, you would probably be hoping that the stock is gonna go down more so you can buy it back, right? Okay, so now this is a very interesting mentality. So the real answer to this is that what's happened has already happened. If you're cutting losses now, you might lose out on the big bull run right now. So if you believe in this country or this ETF, you should probably buy more at the moment when the stock price is cheaper right now. Okay, so same with Baba. Like Baba has a lot of big drops right now. It was $320 per share right now before, but right now it's only $173. So if you believe in this company, believe in the future of this company, definitely, right? This is probably maybe a good time to buy. Same with Tencent. It was $100 before, and now it's $55. That's a 50% discount. Okay, and you can see, this big trend. You look around the past, there was a big crash right here, and it went back up. So, people are panicking, panic selling. This is what Warren Buffett said. He said that, I'll show you the quote later. He said, when bargains are everywhere, that's a time for me to buy. Okay, so this is the quote what Warren Buffett said. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy only when others are fearful. So, okay, I want you to take notice of this word, which is called only. It's very important you do not be greedy when people are not fearful. Okay, let me say that again. Do not be greedy when people are fearful. You want to be greedy only when others are fearful, which is probably right now in the Chinese market because people are panic selling right now. Okay, so this quote is very, very famous. So let's look at some earnings of Tencent. So Tencent, the blue line is the revenue, the green line is the earnings. So you can actually see the earnings of Tencent has been increasing and increasing. So has its revenue. So the company is actually making a lot of money right now. So I feel like if you look at the stock price, you feel like this company is going to go down. The company is going to have a meltdown. The building is going to collapse and all that. But if you look at the earnings, it's actually totally fine. And the company is making a lot of money right now. Yeah, so I have no idea. Like, if you feel like the company is going to break down and the company's on fire, maybe you should rethink that. Here's another mindset hack. If you didn't know about investing, if you didn't know about stocks, and you hear people say 10 cent was $100 per share before, but right now it's only selling at $50 per share. And if you don't look at the stock price, you're just like a normal person who's using the service that Tencent provides, you would probably think it's a good deal, right? Okay, well, it depends on you. Same with Alibaba. The revenue has been increasing. The earnings, it has not been dropping. There was it's a little bit hovering right here, but you can see from 2015, the earnings have been increasing. So same mindset. If you're like a normal person who knows nothing about investing, you're still using Alibaba's service, and then you hear, oh man, a 50% discount on the stock price. Would you think it's a good deal, or would you think it's a bad deal? Right? Okay, so think about that. Now, the really big question is, even though, looking at the financial reports, you think that, oh, this is, super cheap right now, and the services are pretty good, but do you dare to buy now? So that's the ultimate question that everyone is in their mind right now. Some people are saying it's going to go down. Some people are saying it's going to go back up. Same with cryptocurrency. There was a big crash before. People are saying this is the end of crypto, but then crypto went back up, right? So it all comes down to how familiar you are with the country or with the company, and then how much money you want to risk, right? So now, this is my secret weapon. I will talk about this later, not here. This is my secret weapon called the investor's sharing gun. With this superpower, you can literally almost make money on anything you invest because you really understand the core value of investing. So I've been using this mindset hack for a long time, and it has helped me avoid a lot of crashes, like for the Bitcoin crash, and I took advantage of that. I bought like a few shares of the Bitcoin, the crypto shares, and I made like 25% already. Okay. So now, here's another mindset hack. If you had $1 million US, which one would you buy? So would you want to buy Alibaba, or would you want to buy Tencent, right? So type in the answer or comment below. Would you want to buy Baba, or would you want to buy Tencent? Okay. Now, here's another question for you. If you can spread your money among Alibaba and Tencent, how would you do it? Would you do it 40% Alibaba, or 40% Alibaba, 60% Tencent, or just 50-50, or would you do it 10-9, right? So, okay. Now, I think everyone, you might have your answers now, right? At the back of your head, you might think, oh man, I should probably do 50%, or maybe I should 60% on Tencent and 40% on Baba, or maybe 90% on Tencent, 10% on Alibaba, right? Okay, now I want you to think about this. Why do you want to spread among these two companies? Why would you even want to spread around these two companies? Okay, so if you think about that and dig around that for a while, you actually know it's because you get this big money, and you kind of don't want to. You feel like it's a little bit risky of putting all your money into either one company, right? So you want to kind of spread your risk. That's the mindset that everyone has, right? When you have a lot of money, you don't want to lose it. You want to kind of spread it among these companies, and you don't want to bet too heavily on one company, right? If you tell me like you are 100% sure on Tencent and 100% sure on Baba, I would believe you. But then, how can you be sure? If you are right, then maybe you double your money. what if you are wrong? You lose $1 million, right? So I think maybe like 90 or 80% of the people are going to say, I'm just going to spread among these two companies, or I'm going to buy like an ETF to help me reduce my risk, right? Okay, so so my perspective is because the Chinese government, they have too much influence on the stock market, so you really don't know what they are going to do to a single company. Today they want this company to live, their stock price goes up. If today they don't want that company to live, then that company dies, right? If you know about the education companies in China literally said that all education companies should become non-profitable. So their share prices drop 90%. Okay, if you like put all your money in one single share, even though financial reports are all good, the earnings are great, they had no debt at all, but China says something, you lose 90% of your money. So how scary is that? So think about that, right? So even Warren Buffett said, if you are a new investor, you have no idea what's going on in the market, and you cannot predict what the Chinese government is going to do, right? So what should you do? Warren Buffett's best advice is buy the S&P 500 or buy the index fund, which is MCHI, which is this one right now, the Chinese index ETF, which I actually do like it a lot. Right. So now let's look at this quote again. Warren Buffett said, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy only when others are fearful. Now, let me tell you why he actually said buying ETFs are really a good choice. Because let's say if you want to buy Alibaba and Tencent, you have like $1 million capital right now. Maybe you only want to say like, oh, maybe I'm gonna just like invest in 10%, and then 10% into Tencent, 10% into Alibaba. Then you have like 80% left in cash, right? Okay, now there's another mindset hack right here. If you are buying this ETF, how would you do your portfolio sizing? Just maybe, right? Maybe I'm thinking, oh, this is an ETF, right? I have $1 million. Just maybe I'm gonna just throw all $1 million into this ETF, and I don't need to worry about anything. If it goes up, it goes up. If it goes down, it goes down, right? So here's another mindset hack. The power of using an ETF not only prevents you from losing all your money, but also it boosts your mentality as well. If you use an ETF, you are more likely to throw in more money. Therefore, if even the ETF grows slower, but your capital is so big that 1% gain can actually be larger than this individual 10% gain, or like the capital, because you throw a smaller capital in, so that gain can actually be a huge difference. So this is why Warren Buffett actually said that he actually advises a lot of new investors or even old investors to just buy the ETF. Okay, because ETFs are really safe things where you can actually invest a huge capital in. Okay, so now how do you take advantage of this quote again, right? So let me tell you how, and a lot of people, maybe they know it, maybe they don't know it. Okay, this is the ETF. This is the 4-star tech ETF called the CQQQ. Now, CQQQ is an ETF focused on the Chinese technology sector. So if we compare the portfolio growth, you can see right here, and this is the MCHI right here at the bottom, and this is the Invesco China Technology ETF. So you can see the returns are greater than this MCHI, right? So let's look at some holdings. Oops, sorry. Okay. So let me tell you the holdings. Let me go into my webpage. So CQQQ holdings. There we go. Okay, so CQQQ Holdings, it actually doesn't have Alibaba. So you can see the largest holding is actually Tencent, Meituan, Baidu, and there is like Tencent Music, right? So if you actually read the news on Alibaba, people are saying that Alibaba is going to get delisted on the U.S. stocks exchange. So if you just buy this ETF, which is Tencent right now, maybe it takes away your worry about Alibaba. Now, if you still want to buy Alibaba, right, you can buy MCHI. Okay, now let me show you another super powerful skill or mindset hack. So it goes back to Warren Buffett's quote. Warren Buffett said, "Opportunities come infrequently. When it rains gold, put out the bucket, not the thimble, the thimble." So what he means is when opportunities come, right, you should really take advantage of this. So let's say if you're buying an index fund and the S&P 500 drops 50%, you will probably buy very heavily into the S&P 500, right? Okay, so same thing goes for Chinese stocks. So let me show you how. Now this ETF, if you ETF is actually has come all the way back down to like almost all time low. And I'll tell you why. This, some people think this is scary, but to me, this is a really good chance because this is what I think. So if you had bought it right here, you would have made so much money right now. If you okay, but this is a 400% gain, almost like 450% right here. You put in $10,000. By this time, if you sold it, you will have made 400%. So it is happening right now. This is hitting the bottom right here, and if this goes back up, you can make 40% or maybe more, right? If the economy of China keeps growing, you can maybe make 500%. And look at the time frame. It took only 1 year for this to reach to 400%. Like in January 2019, actually 2 years, right? 2 years. And in January 2021, it reached 400% return. Okay, so can anyone guess what this ETF is? Okay, so take a guess. Take a guess. This is definitely an ETF. It's not an individual stock. Okay, so if you want to buy this ETF, type me. Type me. Okay, good. All right, let me show you what this ETF is. Now, this is called the China Internet Index Bull 2X share. So what this does is it's using leverage on China internet stocks. So what this does is if you if those stocks grow 1%, this index grows 2%. If the stock grows 100%, this index or this ETF grows 200%. If the stock grows like 500%, it grows 1,000%. Okay, so now this is called a double-edged sword. If you had bought it at the top right here, I'm pretty sure you will be crying right now. You'll be crying so hard because you will have lost so much money. But if you're taking advantage of this growth right now and using leverage and doing what Warren Buffett said, putting out a bucket and not just a thimble, you will actually the potential return is going to be huge. And let me tell you what the best part is. The risk is super duper low. Let me show you. Okay. But before I go into the chart, I had to explain something. This ETF is leveraged on KWEB. KWEB is a China Internet ETF. So let's look into KWEB. So this is the holding of KWEB. You have Tencent, you have Alibaba, JD, Meituan, NetEase, Baidu, and JD, and a lot of good companies. I don't want to go into too deep, but you can see this is the holdings of KWEB, and CWEB leverages on KWEB. So now let's look at the price chart. This is KWEB. So you can see this big drop right here. A lot of people are freaking out. Investors are losing a lot of money right now. Okay, so this is a KWEB. But if you think about the potential, so if you look at the shares, one share of KWEB is only $44. Now, what about CWEB? Now, you want something that's low cost with high potential return. So let me show you. If you actually buy CWEB right now, it's only $18 per share. Okay, so if you actually buy, just for example, I'm not telling you to. If you buy 100 shares of CWEB, you risked $1,800. That's your maximum risk. And right now it's hitting all-time low right now. And think about the returns. Think about the returns. Think about the future of Alibaba and think about the future of Tencent. Now, because you are using this special power, this special technique on ETF, if 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 Alibaba goes down, right, that's fine because Tencent or other companies will bring it back up. The good thing about an ETF is that if you have like 9 companies go down, and let's say if this ETF only has 10 companies inside, 9 companies go down, one company like Tesla goes up, it brings the entire ETF back up because if you like let's say if you invest in $100, the maximum you can lose is $100. But if you invest in $100 and the company goes boom, then $100 can become $1 million. So an ETF is a very, very safe option, and you don't need to worry about one company going down. Well, the risk is like 50 companies going down, but what are the chances that can happen? Then you lose you lose your $18. So this is definitely the best time for you to get into the Chinese tech stock with an ETF with a leverage right now. Super, super good chance. It's super duper good. Okay, so but also remember, you can only invest in the amount that you are willing to lose because this can still go to zero. And since it's leverage, it's going to be moving really fast. Okay, so you need to have a very strong stop. If this goes down, you either hold or either you can choose to buy more. Okay, or you can say, okay, I'm not going to touch anything. That's all I'm risking, $18. Okay. All right, so right now, so you said, but this is the best time to use leverage right now with super low risk. Let me say the quote again. Opportunities come infrequently. When are you going to wait for this? When are you going to see this again? When it rains gold, which is right now, put out the bucket, not the thimble. Okay, so now we want to use the leverage ETF as the bucket. And Charlie Munger said that the big money is not in the buying and selling, but in the waiting. So if you spend a little bit of money in CWB, $18 per share, you don't expect it to like go up, right? It took 2 years for CWB to grow 400%. So you must be patient. You buy, you don't look at it, you just wait, and if it goes up, it goes up. If it goes down, it goes down. Right? You don't need to look at it every day. It's gonna drive you crazy. Okay. All right. So now I think Leslie will talk more about this. I do have a lot of mindset hacks in the investor sharing gun thing. So I will talk more about that in the World of Wealth conference. Leslie will talk more in the crypto trading stuff as well. Okay. So I hope this sharing helped you. Now please remember, risk only the amount of money that you can take. Don't be too greedy. Okay. Don't be too greedy. Okay, so I'm the safe investor, and I want every one of you to make money and stay safe at the same time. Okay, that's my secret weapon. I'll be sharing it in the World of Wealth event. Okay, Leslie, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Okay, thanks for your this analysis and all. Yeah, so I hope everyone benefited. Okay, so a small favor, if you have benefited, you can help us share this live, so more people can actually see this, right? Okay, so I think there are some of you watching, so perhaps give us some reaction, type a hello in the chat box, or type maybe you put a like, if you are from Singapore like me. Okay, if you are in Malaysia, maybe you can put a heart. Okay, if you are from any other part of the world, maybe you can tap on the care button. Yeah, so at least we know that you are here, right? Okay, yeah. So interestingly, actually Ken and myself, when we do this live, we did not what I call it, exchange notes. That means I don't know what he's going to present, and he doesn't know what I'm going to present as well. But interestingly, we actually have something that is there's a few things that we talking that is very similar to actually what he mentioned. Okay, so I perhaps that is really important. Yeah. So yep, you'll find out really, really soon. Okay. So let me just share my screen. Give me a second. All right. Okay. I hope you can See, right. Okay, so the $1 million question right now, should you invest in Bitcoin now? Okay, so Bitcoin actually climbed about more than 60% in less than a month. Okay, after falling, I think more than 50% from its all-time high. Back then was 60 over thousand US dollar, right? Okay, and on the fateful day of this 19 May. Okay, if you guys still remember, right? So it actually bottomed, right? Okay, so meanwhile, Ethereum also rose more than I think close to 100% already in less than a month. Okay, due to the change of protocol, the London hard forking I think plays a part in pushing the price up. Okay, but the question now, is it too late? Because since it has went up to 60% for Bitcoin and Ethereum almost 100%, and of course the other alternate coins also follows whenever Bitcoin and Ethereum, the top two, I always call them the big brother and the second brother. Okay, so when they go up, typically the other also follows, right? Okay, so before we answer this big question, there are actually some questions, that you have to answer yourself first, right? So whenever my friends or whoever around me ask me this question, I actually have difficulty answering them. Okay, not that I do not know the answer. I know the answer for myself. Okay, so you get what I mean. Okay, so there are some questions you actually have to ask yourself first. Okay, because when these questions are being answered differently, then you will also get a different answer from me or from any other people who you ask this question. Can I buy Bitcoin now? Right. Okay. So number one, okay, is actually your belief. Okay. So do you actually believe in Bitcoin, in cryptocurrency? Do you believe that Bitcoin will still be here in the future? If you don't believe, then we shouldn't invest in it. Make sense? Okay. If you think that Bitcoin is a scam, it's not going to be here in next 2 years, then I don't think you should go into that question of should I buy Bitcoin right now, because you don't believe, right? So not only in investment, I think in anything in the world, right? So if you don't believe a certain, for example, if I want to have six pack, for example, right? So there's a strategy, taught to me, and I don't believe that. How am I going to make it work? Okay, likely I can't, because in the first place I don't believe in it. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So says number one. So if you do believe, right? So second is actually your risk management. So what is your risk appetite, right? Okay, how much money are you willing to set aside? Right, so how much money are you willing to lose, okay, if the price goes against you, right? Okay, so if your first question, hey Leslie, yes, I believe in it, okay, and I have 100,000 to invest, and I'm willing to actually lose 50% of that amount, okay, then um, I won't say you're ready, but at least you get this clear. Then you can actually begin to ask the next question is, hey, should I buy Bitcoin right now? Okay, so yeah, lastly, we usually typically make use of some tools, okay, to actually help us to decide. Right, so what are these tools? Okay, very, very simple. Uh, few tools that we actually use to actually help us decide whether should we buy it now or maybe we should wait, right? So I'm going to share with you three tools tonight, right? So, okay, so number one, okay, you can actually look at this Mayer multiple. Okay, so what is Mayer multiple? Mayer multiple is actually used for what you call technical analysis in Bitcoin investing. Okay, so by Mayer multiple is only for Bitcoin, not for any other coins. All right, so it is used to determine whether Bitcoin is overbought or is it fairly priced or undervalued away, right? Okay, so it is actually calculated by the price of Bitcoin divided by the 20 days moving average. Okay, so if you don't know what I'm trying to say, is fine. I'll just show you how to use it later, right? Okay, so but before I go to that, let me show the second tool first, right? Okay, the second tool is actually the fear and greed index. So it's actually a very uh, good index of indication whether the general sentiments of people, are they afraid now, fear, or are they being greedy, right? And then if you remember Ken's presentation early on the Warren Buffett quote, right? So only be greedy when others are fearful, right? Okay, so you can actually use this to also help you make I would say a decision in it, right? Okay, yeah. So tool number three is actually by using the what I call chart, the trading chart. Okay, so we can actually look at different things like the price action and the momentum and all that, right? Okay, and like what Ken showed earlier on, the few chart of the screenshot of the chart, something like that. Okay, but what I'm gonna do is let me show you the three tools first. Let me switch my screen. Give me a second. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, number one, Mayer multiple. You can go to this website, right? Okay. Or you can just Google Mayer multiple. Normally, you can easily get it, right? So, if the price is below 1.0, usually it signifies that it's oversold and it's actually a good time to buy. Okay, based solely on the Mayer multiple. Okay, based solely on the Mayer multiple, is a good time to buy. Okay, and typically if you hold it, from below one and or okay from between 1 to 2.4, and then you sell it off when it reaches 2.4. Okay, normally you will profit. Okay, so this is how you use the Mayer multiple, right? So you see it explains a little bit on how it was actually developed. Okay, so if you're interested, you can read more about it. Okay, but if not, you're not so keen about how this was developed, you just want to know how to use this, then yes, if it's 1 and below, okay, normally it signifies, hey, it's a good time, right, to actually start buying. Okay, again, solely based on the Mayer multiple. Okay, but the thing is, we don't really just use one indication or one tool to actually make the decision. We combine different tools, right? Okay, so this is one of them, right? So if we go to the fear and greed index, I can go to this website here. All right, you can see that the index is actually in greed, right? Okay, so and typically, okay, when it's greedy, remember Warren Buffett quote, you shouldn't buy, right? Okay, so the fear and greed tells you that you shouldn't buy right now. Okay, but the Mayer multiple tells you that you can buy, right? So sometimes it can be contradicting, right? So but if both of them show you good indication, then hey, you get a double confirmation, right? Of course, there are so many other tools that out there you can use, right? But because time constraint, right? So we only show you three of them. So the next one is actually by using a trading chart, right? Okay, so you can see that there's many lines right here now. Okay, so this is what we call the moving average line, right? Okay, so it's where we actually study the price action, and I would say the trend and all that, correct? So this is like a downtrend, this is like an uptrend, right? Okay, so if you ask for my opinion, right, should we actually start in buying now? Is it a good time? Okay, so based on my opinion, okay, based on my opinion, okay, so all these lines, right, okay, it acts as a what you call support, right? It also acts as a resistance. What does that mean, right? So a support means that, you see, if you look at the price, if it goes to the line, close to the line, normally it should bounce up. If it doesn't bounce up, just like, let me show you an example right here, like this one, right? Let me just put a circle, right? So when it doesn't bounce up, it starts to break off, okay? And then it should bounce on the next line. But if it doesn't, you try to go to the next line, okay? Normally, if it breaks down, all the five lines is, you should really see a bigger long downtrend. Can you see right here? Okay. So remember that was the big crash, right? All the way down here, more than 50%. Right. Okay. So coming back here, okay, why am I telling you this is because when it falls below that line, instead of being a support, okay, like this one right here, instead of being a support for it to bounce up, it becomes a resistance for it to bounce down. You notice that? Okay. So preferably, okay, I would wait until tonight, after today, okay, to make a decision whether should I, if I want to buy, like, if you want a definite answer, should you buy today or not? Okay, so my answer to you is Today perhaps not, okay, because if these fall below, okay, and bounce up, maybe you have a chance, right? But it also means that this blue line could become a resistance, right, for the price to go up. Okay, I hope that makes sense, huh? Right. So if you ask me, I will prefer to wait until the end. Right. You see, as we speak, it become red. Red means there is a is a bearish candle, huh? Right? So we continue to go down. Maybe yes, maybe no. All right. So if it goes down to 43,000, maybe it's a better chance. Right. So hopefully it bounces up like this one right here. Okay, yeah, but can it still go down further, 40, 39, and beyond that? Of course, yes, right? So, but we cannot 100% predict, okay? But we use our best analysis to do that. And of course, couple with what I mentioned early on, your belief, okay? If you don't believe in Bitcoin, then don't invest in it in the first place, right? If you believe, second is your risk management. Are you willing to take the risk? If I buy here and it goes to 40,000, am I okay with that? There's a 10% loss. Is that okay with you? But and not compared to if you make a correct decision and then it goes up further, okay, to where it was the all-time high around 60,000, right? So is that worth it? Is that something that you are able to accept, right? If it goes against you, right? So yeah, in conclusion, for based on price action, I would not do anything tonight. Okay, I will look. I will wait. After today, right, and see what happened to this candle right here. Does it go down here? Then maybe I would buy here. Okay, but if it goes back up, I may also buy. Okay, because it shows that it sort of being supported at the blue line right here, right? Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, I saw a question from Ken. Will Bitcoin goes back to previous height? Okay, if you believe in it, okay, which I do, I believe it will go back. Okay, but again, we are not. I always say that we don't predict, right? So we just follow the trend, follow the momentum. Okay, and of course, couple with all your risk management and also your belief in it, right? Okay, so if it goes back up to 60,000, all time 60 over 1,000, good for us, right? But if it doesn't matter. Okay, so there's so many other coins that we can look at, right? So if we go down, can we make money when it go downtrend? We can also by using shorting strategy, right? So this one you can actually make money from both sides. Okay, you can actually make money from both sides. You can actually use the lines to actually determine how it's being resisted, right? And then start to short the market, right? So when you short the market means that you actually what I call that you're betting against the market, right? So typically if the price goes up by 20%, you make 20%, right? So if the price goes down by 20%, you lose 20%. But if you do a short, you're betting against. That means if the price goes down by 20%, you make 20%, right? So I hope that gives a little bit of explanation of what's shorting, right? Okay. Yeah. So let me see if there's any other question posted. Okay, I don't think so. Right. Okay. Let me go back to my slide first. Okay, yeah. So in conclusion, right, we have these three tools for you to start using. Right. So number one is the Mayer multiple. Right. So long if it's 1.0 and above, and then you hold it until 2.4. Okay. Based on the study, it shows that you will be profitable. Okay. That means you sell it off and you reach 2.4. Right. And of course, the greed, fear and greed index. All right. So typically, when people are being greedy, you should be fearful, right, and start having your risk management in place, right? Okay. And for this round, it actually shows that the greed index is quite high right now. Okay. So when it's fearful, people can actually start to buy. Okay. And of course, the little bit of technical analysis, okay, on the chart, right? So to in my opinion, right, is that I will wait for and see what happens tonight. Okay, and then make the decision whether to enter or not. Right. Okay. So I hope you have learned something. Right. So Ken earlier mentioned about the World of Wealth, okay, event. All right. So it's actually happening this Saturday. Okay. So we like to invite all of you to actually join us at this event. Yeah. So it actually wasn't easy for the organizer. I'm sorry. Okay. To actually give me a second. Should be. It should be a video, but never mind. Okay, give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, so anyway, it wasn't easy for the organizer to actually secure for us these two distinguished so-called keynote speakers. Okay, so one of them is Matt Smith. Okay, so he is from this Good Soil Investment Management, right? So and his topics actually on how he actually turned 30,000 okay into 30 million okay in just 3 years, right? And now, of course, we have Rudy Lim, CEO of this OIO Holdings. It's actually the first listed blockchain company in Singapore, right? And he'll be talking to us about how to actually use cryptocurrency as a stable base for wealth creation, right? And of course, Ken and myself will be speaking as well, okay, in this event, right? There is supposed to be a video to play, but never mind, okay? So yeah, so and of course there are other experts as well in their own areas. Okay, so let me see if I can play this one. Oh yeah, it's okay. Okay, yeah, so these are all the different speakers in one video. So you can have a rough idea, who is speaking on what topic. Okay, and the good news is actually beside being able to learn so many different financial skill sets in just one day, okay, you will also be receiving a lot of gifts just by joining this event. Okay, so during the event, some speakers will be actually giving out free courses, from option to e-commerce to drop shipping and even cryptocurrency. Okay, so I think I reviewed a little bit too much. Okay, but if that excites you, please join us. Okay, in this event, right? Okay, so yeah, so thank you very much. Ken, do you have something to add on regarding the WOW event? Okay, wait, hold on. Let me just put it back up. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. So, what? Maybe a sneak peek. What will you be sharing in the WoW event? Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Ah, okay. Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so just now, I think some of you have seen me doing this technical analysis, right, on this chart. Okay, so maybe some of you are confused. Like, hey, what exactly am I doing, right? Okay, because I only give a bit of explanation. Okay, but in actually this wealth event, right, I will actually be reviewing the actual strategy. Okay, that uh, that some of our students and community actually made 100 to 200% using just this strategy itself. Okay, and then it's actually a step-by-step guide. So from how to setting up the chart, all the way to actually using it, right? Okay, so that's a little bit of what I will be touching on, right? Okay, how about you, Ken? All right, what will you be?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So
touching?
I will. Sure, sure. So in the well event, I will be. I actually don't talk about this a lot. So when we do stock investing, we have technical analysis, we have valuation skills, but the thing that people don't really talk about is the mindset hack. If you have this mindset hack, this is like a superpower. If you know this, you can literally make money on anything you invest, and it's not because of the technical analysis and not because of the valuation skill. It's because you truly understand how to invest, why you invest, when you should get in, when you should get out. So that's a very, very powerful mindset hack. So that's what I'll be sharing. Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. All right, okay. Yeah. So, any last, or not say last word, any last conclusion for our viewers, before we call it a night? Hello, are you still there? Okay.
Yeah, yes, I am. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, everyone, just join the World of Wealth event. You will learn so much things, so many things for
Okay.
you to learn.
Yeah, so I will be we will be pasting the registration link in the chat box as well, very very soon after the live has ended. Right. Okay. So I hope you guys joining us live tonight, and perhaps those that will be watching later. Right. Maybe you are not free right now. Right. So you have learned something and it has benefited you. Right. So do let us know, what other topic that actually you will be interested to know, right? Okay, so we try our best to provide as much as we can. Okay, yeah. So if not, we shall not hold you back. You can have a good night with your family, right? So we will see you in the next live, right? Okay, see you.
Bye,
Bye
bye,
bye.
everyone. See you. Bye.